Okay, you guys. So today we're going to talk about mental health. Now, I've already talked about mental health, but we're not about to talk about mental health in that way, okay? What we're going to talk about is your mental health your own responsibility hmm? When it comes to a relationship. All right? Is your mental health your own responsibility? Can someone make you crazy? Okay, let's talk about that because it needs to be talked about. All right. So basically, I'm asking this question: is your mental health your own responsibility, and can someone make you crazy in a relationship? Okay. So let's talk about in a relationship. In a relationship, y'all going into this thing. First of all, let's talk about the things that would make a woman crazy. Okay. So there was a movie that we used to watch back in the day, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and like movies like Boomerang. It was movies like those back in the day that we used to watch, right? So like the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate was about, being a player pretty much. Martin was out there being a player, trying to get with this girl, but it was all a bet. Okay? Same thing like with Boomerang. All right? Boomerang, Eddie Murphy was out there. He was a womanizer. You know what I'm saying? Until he finally found a girl or a woman that he wanted to settle down with, pretty much. So until she flipped the but the woman actually flipped the script on him. But eventually he still went after what he loved at the end of the day. Now, same thing with Martin in the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. At the end of the day, after he made his bet and, whatever was going on, his homegirl came back in from, I guess she was in the Navy or something like that. And eventually, that was the girl that he liked and he wanted to start a relationship with her. All right. So, can a man drive you crazy? Or can a woman drive you crazy? Vice versa. All right. Can a woman drive you crazy and can a man drive you crazy? Um, Leading up to the ultimate question is your mental health your responsibility? Yes, I would say your mental health is your own responsibility. So yes to that answer. Yes, your mental health is your own responsibility. But can a man drive you crazy? Yes. They most definitely can, because men sometimes can be they can be womanizers. All right, they don't really use they usually don't say although they know what they want, but when they're playing games, you really just don't know if they're playing games, because it's not the objective for you to know that they're playing these type of games. All right. When you find a man and you feel like it's all games, he's not making it clear to you that, hey, this is what it is, and you trying to find clarity, and he's making it confusing for you. At that point, you should be thinking to yourself, you know what, I don't have time for these type of games, and I'm about to get myself out of these situations. I'm about to get out of this situation or out of this relationship before I get played. Some women stick around and the men continue to play around and play these games with them. All right. So is your mental health your own responsibility? Yes, because if you protective of your peace and your mental health, and you've been in situations like this before, you should already know where it could lead you to being toxic. Okay, because toxic relationships messes with your mental health. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things, because those are great and deep questions. So, is your mental health your own responsibility? I said yes. Other people might be like, nah, but people can drive you to being crazy, but we ain't at that point yet. But is it your responsibility? Yes. You're ultimately responsible for acknowledging your mental state, seeking help, and taking steps towards healing. Okay, so yes, it is your responsibility, because people can break you down. A relationship can break you down, especially if it's a toxic relationship and it's unhealthy. So it can start wearing on your mental health, your emotions, your physical health, and all those type of things. So you have to protect your mental health and protect your peace, women. Okay, because this is for the ladies. Okay, but if the men can learn something from this, they learn something from it, because y'all probably be dealing with these situations as well. But yes, it is our responsibilities, ladies. That said, mental health isn't developed in isolation. Family, trauma, and environment play huge roles in shaping how we think and feel. Okay, so whatever you're surrounding yourself with, within the relationships, friends that's dealing with the same thing you're dealing with, or it could play a big role in this. So, say you're in a relationship with a man that's toxic, he can play a big role in your mental health, because you're going through something. Say this man is a womanizer, like I'm saying. He's making you feel a certain way. Say he's cheating, he's lying, he's doing all these things that's playing on your mental and making you have to overthink. It's not healthy for your mental health. Okay? So again, men should be making these things clear so women won't have to be overthinking and then start doing crazy stuff like they was doing in the thin line between love and hate, baby, busting windows, flattening tires. Excuse me, or calling your mama ugly. Because, y'all drove them to this point. All right. So taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything, obviously. It means recognizing your power to heal and grow even if you didn't cause the wounds. Okay. So it's not taking the blame and saying, I did this and, I made him this way and I made him that way. Because in return, that man had something to do with why you acting crazy. He definitely had something to do with why you acting crazy. Because women don't just be acting crazy for no reason. Now, some of these women do just be crazy. They just be crazy from the jump. And that is something that men should be recognizing. And women should already know, like in the movie, The Thin Line Between Love and Hate, she didn't want to get too deep in the relationship. And she was telling him, like, nah, I don't want to do this because, I've been hurt before. She said, like, I've been hurt before and I ain't trying to go through this. I ain't trying to go down this route again, so I need to know, do you love me? This nigga gonna sit here and say he love her. So, baby, she started acting crazy from there. He over there digging her down and everything. So she started acting crazy. So I'm just saying, like, baby, wait. don't do it if you don't want her to start acting crazy, because that's exactly what she's gonna do. So basically, don't blame yourself, because you're not the only person that gets involved. You're not the only person that should be responsible for it. So, but still grow from that. All right. Can someone make you crazy in a relationship? Yes, absolutely. They can. Okay. And again, like I said, this woman is crazy and yet and still you still be boning her. Okay. Okay. This man making you crazy and you just can't help but go over there and, y'all knocking the boots. All right. It makes you crazy. They talking sweet nothings. It's all a part of the game, especially if the man is a womanizer. So understand that this happens. Yes, a man can make you crazy. Okay. And he could be responsible for some of your mental issues or your emotional problems. All right. So emotionally and mentally and psychologically, yes. Okay. Someone can make you crazy in a relationship. Let's get to it. Toxic partners can gaslight, manipulate, lie, cheat, invalidate your feelings, and cause emotional trauma over time. All right? Making you second guess, making you overthink. You know what I'm saying? That's all playing a part of your emotional health and your mental health. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, a man can make you crazy to the point where you ready to bust his windows out. Now, I ain't never ever got to that point where I'm busting people's windows out, slashing tires, and cracking a man over his head. I ain't never got to that point. Okay, now if my husband ever take me to that point, if he leave or something, then I don't know. Nah, but seriously, I really don't know. I don't know if I just don't feel like I'm that type of person. So sometimes it just be, are you that type of person that'll just do that? You know what I mean? So, and some of y'all don't really be in good relationships for you to just act out like that. Y'all just be, you trying to stick with a person who just treats you like that. All right. So you might start doubting your reality, reacting out of pain, or behaving in ways that aren't you anymore. That's not you being crazy. That's the response to an instability and emotional harm. Basically, all the stuff this man putting you through. He telling you he love you, but then he go back and go cheat. He telling you he love you, then he go back and go lie. All these things are contributing to the factors of why she busting your window out, baby. He coming over there, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry. Then he started knocking the boots again, and now you back in heaven. You back in knocking boots heaven, baby, and you done forgot all about it, and now he about to do the same thing again. Okay, that is traumatizing. All right, it is emotional stress that you're dealing with, and he's bringing you to that point, and he knows it. And it's like I said, it's like having it's like having some sort of control over that woman. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a little bit of control going on when a man does that. All right, he's a womanizer. This is what he does. Okay, but healing after that, that's back to you. So is it your responsibility to heal and get your mental health back in check? That is your responsibility. So, but healing after that, that's back to you. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to protect your peace once you realize what's going on. Okay. And again, like I said, once y'all start seeing these type of signs and you feeling like if you leave me or if you go see this, just going crazy, the crazy stuff that y'all be doing, the crazy things that I be hearing about. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it don't be just women doing these type of things. Men, they do it in a different way, but they be acting crazy too. They be stalking the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like you putting this good cookie on him, baby, and now he over here acting crazy. No, seriously though, I'm being for real. I am being seriously though. So it's the same way when it comes to a man. He's doing the same thing. He knocking the boots good, and every now and again, he might whine and dine you and say all these sweet things to you and for you and to make you feel at ease and comfortable. And then they go back and do the stuff that you're telling him you don't want him to be doing. And that just makes you crazy. Okay. Basically, you're crazy in love for this man. Like you wanna trust this man and you wanna pour your all into him, and he just not respecting the fact that you love him this way. You love him this much. And a lot of people don't pour out their love like that unless they really trust somebody. So this person must really trust you in order for them to give you their heart, express how they feel. They must really care about you. So it's just like when you stump all over their heart and all over their feelings like you don't care, baby, that's when they start acting crazy. Okay. So again, but I've never been in that position, but a thin line between love and hate is like what's really going on today. It's just like the Cardi B situation and Offset situation, baby. He is feeling some type of way, and I think he on his way to getting locked up, or he already locked up because she must have called the cops on him or something like that. But and he had weapons in the car, being that he's a felon and everything like that. So it's just like that's prevalent today. It's prevalent today where a lot of this a thin line between love and hate is so prevalent today. Okay, boomerang prevalent. Okay, so it's just like protect your mental health, protect your peace. Okay, if you know the relationship is toxic or it's not good for you, then don't put yourself in that position because it only wears on you. It only wears on your mental and your physical ability to move on, and you have to deal with that while you're trying to move on. So do not allow these people to come back in and disturb your peace. You need to secure your peace. All right? Secure your mental health. Make sure that you have a grasp on that because it's so easy to slip back into those old ways. It's easy to slip back into, those things. So it's just like protect your peace. It's very important for you to do that. But at the end of the day, it's just girls talk, small talk, like it or leave it, period.